Hi. So my month of Pride Month videos ended rather abruptly. I was in the hospital. Completely unexpected, not a planned visit. I mean, rarely is, but like if you have an operation or whatever, you can sort of, you know, it's going to happen. I didn't. I literally went to the doctor's just because I wasn't feeling very well, and then was there for about 10 minutes, and then they were like, you need to go to the hospital, and then I ended up staying in the hospital for almost a week. Sorry that went downhill very quickly. I'm still getting better, I'm still off work, I'm still kind of like recovering, but I haven't made a video in ages. I want to make a video. This isn't a Pride video, but like a Pride Month video, but they are gonna still be coming. I'm still gonna kind of have them coming because I had loads of really good ones planned that I still want to make. You know, I make videos like that anyway, like regardless of it being Pride Month or not, so there's just going to be like more of them because I want to do the videos I was going to do. But today I thought I could just have a sit down, book haul, chat, because I bought loads of books over the last like couple of months and I haven't spoken about them, so I'm going to do that now. So firstly, we literally have my most recent purchase, and that is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. You know, I've never read Harry Potter before, I don't know what it is, don't know what this book is. I think this is the first book in the series. I'm joking. This is the 20th anniversary edition of Chamber of Secrets. I only have this one at the moment. I don't have any of the other houses in paperback, and I don't have any house in hardback because nowhere has them. Everywhere just sold out. And I was just like, why have they gone? Like last year they were available for so long, and this year they're not. They're like, I can't find them anywhere. I didn't pre-order them because last year I did pre-order them and it was very expensive, and then I saw them in other places afterwards cheaper, so I was like, okay, I'm going to wait and I'm going to get them. Nowhere has them, so I'm waiting for different ones to come in. But I got the paperback Slytherin because that is my house. I need to represent my house. I think this is amazing. The design on the cover is gorgeous, and obviously Chamber of Secrets being heavily Slytherin-like, it fits the Slytherin aesthetic, which is beautiful. So I love this very much. So this has more information in it as well. So it has loads of information about the house elves, and then there is a quiz and like an introduction to Slytherin as well, which is great, and the classic Hogwarts map. I love it. I want to get the rest of them. Just nowhere has them. Nowhere. Next we have All I Want Today is by Elon Mastai, and this book is one which someone that I used to work with recommended to me in Waterstones. It's about a couple called Tom and Penny, and they live in a world where everything is perfect and everything is exactly how it should be. There's no war, there's no hunger, there's no poverty, everything is perfect, but something happens and it means that Tom loses Penny, and then he finds himself in our world, which is not perfect at all, but he gets another chance with Penny, and it's sort of, does he want to go back to his perfect world or does he want to stay here? And apparently it's really good, and I was looking for something else to read and she recommended it to me and said it was really good, so I'm looking forward to giving it a go and seeing what I think. Then I have the first book in a series that I have been being told to read for years by people IRL, by people online, by everyone. Everyone's been telling me to read this series for years, and I sort of was thinking, I didn't read it back then, I've sort of missed my time slot, but because a new one came out this year, they sort of came back and they were in every bookshop, and I saw it and I thought, I'm gonna do it. Finally. And that is Shatter by Tahira Mafi. I have never read this series. I literally know that there's a character called Warner and a character called Juliet. That's all I know about this series. Everyone's been telling me to read it for so long, and I was just kind of like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. Finally. So I bought the first one in case I don't like the whole series. I might not. I might hate it. And I'm going to give it a go, and I will update you on my thoughts. Then I got A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J Maas, which is a short story set after A Court of Wings and Ruin. I always forget the order. This is kind of the bridge between the last kind of three and then the next ones. So yeah, it's just a short novella. I haven't read it yet. I don't know what it kind of entails, but I feel like because I've kind of read most of the series, I should give this one a go as well and see how it fits in. I've loved A Court of Mist and Fury. A Court of Wings and Ruin was not my favourite, so I'm hoping I enjoy this more than that one. This is the Waterstones exclusive fan art edition, which has fan art in the beginning of the book. There you go. And then I have been reading the Percy Jackson series because I have never read Percy Jackson before in my life. Me and my manager has also never read Percy Jackson. She watches my videos. Hello! We both never read them, and we were talking at work and we were saying we should read them together. We should buddy read them together. And I freaking love it. I actually am in love with the Percy Jackson books so much. Like, I know I'm gonna love this whole series to the point where I'm just gonna have to get every single one because I need to read every single bit of content that there is in this universe. I had the first 5. I bought Percy Jackson and the Greek Gods and Percy Jackson and the Greek Heroes. Those short stories kind of set after the series or during the series, or at some point you're probably all like, oh my god, she has no idea. But yeah, so I got those 2, which I'm excited about. I do love short story collections and more content. You know me, I'm all about the extra content. And then I also got Heroes from Olympus, Heroes of Olympus, not Heroes from Olympus, which is the first book in the next series, the like sequel series from the whole universe. I really want to read the Magnus Chase ones very much because it's like Thor and Loki and Asgard, which I'm all about. But I don't know if I have to read all of these before I can read the Magnus Chase ones. The internet's saying yes of the sites I've read where it gives you a guide. Please help me if you've read them. Do I have to read them all? Is it like the Immortal Instruments where you don't necessarily, but you would benefit from doing so? Tell me. Thank you. Oh, Percy Jackson, for those that don't know, but I'm sure everybody does because I'm literally 20,000 years behind, is about a boy called Percy who finds out that he is a half-blood, he is a demigod, and is the son of a Greek god, and I will not spoil you with who his dad is, and I'm sure everybody knows. It's very obvious. The film, which I have watched now, is awful. It just tells you literally straight away, like literally within the first couple of seconds, you're like, oh, well, there we go. That's spoiled. He ends up going to this place called Calf Hamp Blood. Calf Hamp Blood? Oh my god. Calf Hamp Blood. I've not even been at the hospital a week and I'm delirious. Camp Half Blood is the name. This is the camp for half-blooded people whose one of their parents is a Greek god. If you've never read Percy Jackson like me, read them because they're brilliant. And because I'll talk about Magnus Chase and Asgard and all that stuff, I'm going to move on to Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology. I can't speak. These are the Norse myths retold by Neil Gaiman, he is great. Neil Gaiman is a great guy. He did Coraline, which I love. It's one of my faves. But I'm so excited to read this and finally dive into it. Next we have The Exact Opposite of Okay by Laura Stephen, and this book is about a girl called Izzy. Photos of her and a politician's son get leaked and the photos are kind of a bit compromising. This drew me to it because it's discussing how kind of double standards and how in these situations women always seem to kind of come out worse and get more scorn and more judgment, which is obviously not okay. And that seemed really kind of something that I think is such an issue on the internet and definitely something that people need to think about. So I really wanted to read this as soon as I read that kind of and saw the issues that it was dealing with, and I think if it's done really well, it'll be a really good exploration of what our society is like and what internet is like with how they treat certain situations and the people that get the blame when they shouldn't be getting the blame. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. So then I got Tyler Johnson Was Here by J. Coles, and this is a book which I saw in Foyles, and I love Foyles. Foyles has so many good books at the moment. I'm literally in love with it. Every time I go in there, the one on Charing Cross Road is my fave, and every time I go in there I end up leaving with books. It's really bad. But this one is about a boy called Marvin, and his twin brother Tyler goes to a party, and Marvin decides to tag along to kind of keep an eye on him and kind of just sort of look out for him. But it goes very wrong and ends up being a shooting, and Tyler is missing. The next day Tyler is actually found dead, and a video gets leaked online showing that he was killed by a police officer, and it's everything involving that. This is kind of exploring justice and freedom and kind of everything, like that whole issue that is very sadly a big thing in the world, particularly in America, where people are being killed for like no reason. And shouldn't have been and didn't need to have been killed and didn't need to have been shot. I've heard lots of good things about it. Apparently this book is fantastic. Yeah, it's one of those ones, it's kind of like The Hate You Give, kind of like Dear Martin, where that issue is very much explored in a very real way, which is what I've heard this one does as well. So I'm looking forward to reading it. I think it's really important that we are discussing books like this, and we're discussing them when it happens in real life, because people are being killed for no reason. Next I have Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi, and this is a book about Penny and Sam, who kind of are living different lives in different places, and then their paths kind of cross and they end up exchanging telephone numbers, and then they go sort of their separate ways again. But they become very close over text, and they text all the time, they talk all the time, and they kind of share everything about themselves, but they never meet. Their paths never cross again. Everything is kind of done online. They don't actually have to interact or hang out in real life. It's exploring that, and I think it's really interesting to kind of in a time where we are very reliant on digital stuff, and the majority of people I talk to do not really live near me. I talk to a lot of people via the internet, most of my friends all the time. So I think it's a really interesting one to kind of explore and to see how it's going to go, and kind of how this story is going to unfold. I've heard good things about it. I saw good reviews online, and again I saw it in foils, so I'm looking forward to giving it a go. Then I have Ramona Blue by Julie Murphy, which is about a girl called Ramona. She lives in a small town. She kind of is anticipating that she's going to be there her whole life because of kind of her family circumstances and everything. And one thing that Ramona is definitely sure of is that she is gay and that she likes girls, and that's all she likes. And then her childhood best friend Freddie moves back, and she realises, like, I like this guy, this is weird, what is going on? I was really sceptical because I was like, well, we don't have enough LGBTQ plus books, why is kind of that being erased in this one? But it was a really good exploration of how sexuality can be fluid, and how things can different things can change. It doesn't necessarily mean like you have to relabel yourself, or it doesn't mean that you kind of like have to have a label even, but like things can change, and kind of sexuality is fluid. And I think that it did that really well, because it didn't come across as kind of erasing her sexuality, because she was still like, no, like it's still very much like girls, it's just different things and different people. I really enjoyed this book. I thought this book was great. I think it did that really well, and it explored that really well. It's good to kind of have that kind of exploration of sexuality, and kind of discussing that and discussing how fluid it is, because that's very real for some people. They kind of can't pinpoint themselves with a label. I think it's really good to see that. Then I have Jess Chunk and the Road Trip to Infinity by Kristen Elizabeth Clark, and this is about a girl called Jess who is going on a road trip with her best friend Chunk to her dad's wedding to his new wife. She was invited, but she didn't tell them that she was going, but now she says she is. The only thing here is that last time Jess saw her dad, Jess was Jeremy, and her dad doesn't know that. Her dad doesn't know that she is now Jess. So it's the road trip and kind of all of that and what comes from that. I've not heard like any reviews about this book at all. Again, it was another one I saw in Foils. Foils literally owns my bank account, and I thought it sounded really good, and the cover drew me in because it's gorgeous. But when I read it, I thought that sounds really good. I really want to read this, so I decided to pick it up as well. I'm really looking forward to reading this one as well. Then I have Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli, which is the sequel to Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, also by Becky Albertalli. And this is set kind of like a year-ish later of their senior year, and it is Leah, who is bisexual but hasn't told her group of friends yet. I did have some issues with it, which I'm going to talk about in my review, but I think I liked that this is kind of, it did explore sort of that last year of school and leaving school and going away to university and college, and kind of leaving people, and kind of that worry of like leaving people behind and going to different places with people and stuff with your friends, and moving to entirely different cities and places, and in this case states, you know. So I did enjoy that aspect of it, but like I said, there were some things I didn't like. But I'm going to do a full review of it where I will discuss it. But yeah, this is another one I got recently. Then I got Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman, which is the sequel to Scythe, also by Neil Shusterman. Scythe, the first book, is this one here. And again, they go together like walla walla ba-ding ba-ding ba-dong. And this is a perfect world where people don't die. The only way to die is to be killed by a professional scythe. It's about two people, Citra and Rowan, who get chosen to become apprentice scythes. They don't really have a choice. They just have to learn how to kill people. It is the exploration of that. I haven't read Scythe yet. It sounds amazing, it sounds like I'm really gonna like it, but again, I was in foils, and this was on sale, and I was like, it's a hardback, and I'm not gonna see it that cheap again. I'm just gonna buy it. Hopefully I'll like this series. I'm planning on reading this size soon, probably after the whole Percy Jackson sitch, but I'm really looking forward to reading it, because I think it's gonna be great. And then finally, that was a very big book haul, I got It's Not Like It's a Secret by Misa Sugaria. This is about a girl called Sana. She is Japanese American, and her mom is very traditional. She has very sort of strict and set beliefs about certain things. And they end up moving to California, where she meets Jamie Ramirez. They kind of start to get close. They form like a little relationship going on. They like each other and stuff. She doesn't think her mom is gonna be very like any form of accepting about the fact that she likes girls. She's really nervous about it. She doesn't want to tell anyone. She's just sort of, it's another sort of like exploring yourself and kind of coming to terms with that. But it's also really good because it deals with issues of racism, but also within like different races. So how kind of, there's a bit where, this is not really spoilery, but I'm going to do a review of this as well, where Sana says something to one of Jamie's friends. She says something, and it's kind of like, well, I'm also a minority, like I can't be racist, but it's like it can, and it's kind of different forms of racism explored within different groups and different sort of attitudes towards it. And then also dealing with growing up and kind of pressure from friends, family issues, and then again kind of exploring your sexuality, coming into yourself, accepting yourself. I really liked this book. I thought it was a great exploration of lots of things. Something happened near the end which really got on my nerves, and I really just didn't think it was necessary. But overall, I did like this book. I do want to do a whole review of it. But yeah, I enjoyed it. So yeah, so that was my book haul. This is probably from like the last like month or two. I just haven't done a book haul in a while, not since I got back from Paris. I hope you enjoyed. Have you read any of the books on here? Did you like them? Are you planning on reading any of them? What do you think I should read next? Like out of these ones, have you read any? Do you think yes, you need to read that right now? Thanks guys for watching. More videos coming soon. I'm going to try and do 2 a week because I'm bored of not doing that. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're doing really well, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.